There are 84 million LinkedIn users in the United States, and 94% of recruiters use LinkedIn to vet candidates. So get noticed, folks, but don't do it for the wrong reasons. Executive headhunter Shanna Landolt is a contributing author to the book 101 Great Ways to Compete in Today's Job Market. And Shanna is here to share the 3 deadly LinkedIn mistakes that we can make if we want to make a good impression for job recruiters, right?
Absolutely.
So what are those 3, Shanna?
Well, the first thing is your photo. So I call it the lassie mistake, and I see people do this all the time. They'll put a picture of themselves with their dog.
Oh,
or their baby, or their wedding photo, or something with their kids. It's unprofessional. So you want to remember, Facebook is your personal profile. LinkedIn is your professional profile. So you want to make sure that your photo looks like you in your professional environment.
That makes sense.
Now, the second mistake, I call it the Match.com mistake.
Okay.
So you never want to put in your profile line actively seeking new opportunities. Looking for a job is almost a little bit like dating. So you never want to look too desperate.
Okay.
And in chat, this is interesting, if you put actively looking for opportunities and the company that you're interviewing knows that you're really actively looking, it can actually impact your salary negotiation and you can get a lower job offer.
Because they know you're out there.
Exactly.
Right, got it.
People always want what they can't have.
Yeah, right.
So, and then the third mistake I call the 007.
Okay.
So unless you're an international secret agent, do not put confidential under the name of your current company. Almost everybody is on LinkedIn. Your current role is not confidential.
Right.
Your boss is probably on there. So a recruiter needs to know exactly where you're working right now, because where you're working and the reputation of that company will determine the kinds of opportunities that they present to you.
Right. That makes sense. And, you know, I know that it's also very important to have a bit of transparency, right? So putting that confidential totally makes sense, that, you know, that's going to completely ruin that transparency. Well, so how can we get the job?
Okay. Well, in having a great LinkedIn profile to get your job, first of all, you want to make sure that people write written recommendations about you. So not just endorsements, but go out to people and actually ask them, will you say 2 or 3 or 4 lines about me? Do the same thing for them. They'll be happy to do the same thing for you in return. Now, the second thing about LinkedIn is it's a network, and there's 3 degrees of separation. So you want to be really connected with people. Be a part of the Open Link network. It's a setting in LinkedIn. If you're an Open Link networker, it means that people who are a part of that network can reach out to you and connect to you without paying an email credit.
Okay.
The other thing about Open Link networkers is typically they have a lot of connections. So if I'm connected to you and you have 1,000 connections, all of a sudden your connections become my second connections and my network grows.
Right.
The third thing is you want to be reachable. So on LinkedIn, put your cell phone number, put your email address. This is where you want people to be able to connect with you.
That's where you want that information to be.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
And then the fourth thing is be knowledgeable. Know the recruiters who work in your sector. Recruiters work in niches. So, for example, if you work in finance and accounting, there are a group of recruiters. All they do is finance and accounting. Or if you work in consumer packaged goods marketing, there are recruiters that all they do is consumer packaged goods marketing. They're probably the recruiters who've been calling you. Reach out to them, connect with them on LinkedIn. They will always say yes.
Wow. Okay, that's great. Well, so speaking of getting a job, just want to throw this out. You have put more than 200 executives in 6-figure jobs.
That's right.
What made them stand out?
Well, it's interesting. By the time we get to a short list, I could say that candidate number 1, 2, or 3, all of them were capable of doing the job. They all had the technical skills. But what separates the successful candidate from the others is really their communication style, their interpersonal skills, their ability to be excited and passionate about the opportunity. And then at the end of the day, people want to work with people that they like.
Right.
So establishing rapport is important. Even the small details like what you wear to an interview matters. So for example, if you're interviewing for a company and that company is a high-tech environment, you know, where people are wearing jeans, you don't want to show up, you know, wearing a suit.
Right.
You want to be able to fit into that environment. The other thing I think that makes the finalist candidates stand out is they actually got in touch with me as a recruiter and they got some coaching. They found out that insider information that they could use in their interview.
Great, that's great. Well, so tell us a little bit about how folks can contact you. How can they learn more? I know you've got a book out there, so I definitely want to get them in touch with you.
Yes.
So they can hop on to landoltgroup.com.
That's
Is that right? That's the best way to get hold of you?
Or they can send me an email, Shanna@landoltgroup.com.
Fantastic, Shanna. Great advice, great tips. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right.